Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So you are welcome back to another episode of our online classes. So we are going to start from where we stopped the other time. Don't forget, last class we discussed conservation of the principle of mechanical energy, where we stated that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but can only be converted from one form to another. And at the same time, we look at the energy transformation that occurs when an object is falling from a certain height to the air surface. And later we treated one equation as an example. So today we are looking at another aspect of our topic, which is a machine. So machine. What is machine? Machine is simply put as any device or tool that we can use to make our work easier. Any tools or device that we can use to make our work easier. We can also express or explain the meaning of machine as any tools or device which can allow an effort to be applied at one end in order to overcome a resisting force. The resisting force is called load, and this load must be at the other end of that machine. I repeat, the machine is a device or tool which will allow an effort to be applied at one end in order to overcome a resisting force at the other end. Now, two things are very, very important here. Any moment we are using what we call a machine, that is, an effort must be applied, and two, the machine itself must convert the energy or the effort or the applied force and convert in order to raise a load. So the effort that being applied on the machine is what we call input force. That effort is what we call the input force. Input force. And the load being raised by that machine is what we call the output force. So that's why we define machine as any tools which allows an input force to be applied at one end in order to overcome the resistance at the other end. Now, before we proceed, we have some terms that we normally use as related to machine. And what are those? Don't forget, you have all this in your notes. So I have already sent your note to you. So this is just an explanation of the notes. Now, what are the terms we normally use under machine? So we have mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage represented as NA. M stands for mechanical and A stands for advantage. So this mechanical advantage is just simply put as the ratio of two forces. Ratio of two forces. Why do we call it a ratio of two forces? Is that is the ratio of the input force. Sorry, is the ratio of the output force. Output force over input force. In other words, you can also say is the ratio of the load to the effort. Load to the effort. If you check this expression for mechanical advantage, the load as a force and effort as another force, they have the same unit, Newton, in which Newton will cancel Newton. Definitely, from here you can easily conclude that mechanical advantage has no unit. Mechanical advantage has no what? Has no unit. And we also talk about the velocity ratio of the machine, which is the ratio of the distance traveled, the distance moved by the effort to the distance moved by the load. That is the distance moved by the effort over distance moved by the load. So here again, because velocity is the ratio of two distances, so the unit of the distance moved by the effort will be in meter. Don't forget that the unit of distance is in meter. While the unit of distance moved by the load will also be in meter. So because it's the ratio of two distances, so meter we see cancel meter. So it's also, we can also conclude that velocity ratio has no what? It has, velocity ratio has no unit. Has no unit. Now, one of the major things that affect the performance of machine is the friction or frictional force. Don't forget, you did a friction of frictional force in SSS1. And what's frictional force? That is a force that exists between the surface of separation of two surfaces that are in contact and try to solve the motion of one over the other. So because the motion, the machine has a moving part, so there is tendency of friction to affect what? To affect the performance of the machine. So what this friction does is that it always affects the mechanical advantage of the machine, and the velocity ratio, it has no effect on the velocity ratio. It only affects the mechanical advantage of the machine, but not the velocity ratio. So I want you to take note. Let me repeat that again. The frictional force affects the mechanical advantage of the machine, but not the velocity ratio. So another part here is still the efficiency of the machine. The efficiency of the machine. This is a measure of the performance. How effective a certain machine is. How effective a certain machine is. And the efficiency is defined as the ratio of the work output over work input times 100%. Please and please, the efficiency of the machine is always expressed in percentage. That is work output over work input times 100%. This is one of your assignments which you need to forward the solution. Now, from the definition of the efficiency, which is the ratio of the work output to the work input times 100%, we can also conclude that the efficiency in terms of velocity, and the mechanical advantage, we have NA over VR equal, N over VR multiplied by 100%. NA over VR times 100%. So that assignment is that you are going to show or prove how efficiency equal mechanical advantage over velocity ratio times 100%. The question asks you to show from the definition of the efficiency, which is work output over work input and 100%, show that efficiency equal N over VR times 100%. So the unit or the efficiency is expressed in percentage. Now we move on to types of machine. Types of machine. So let's move on to types of machine. Types of machine. So what are the types of machine? We have different various types of machine. Depending on what we are trying to use them for, we have different types. So the first one we have here is the lever. The lever. Don't forget, in first time or last time rather, so we did an experiment on the principle of moment, where we use our knife edge, we suspended or we balance our meter on the knife edge in this manner, in such a way that if we are to have an effort or one force at this side, having a distance of A from here to where we have the pivot to be A, then we have another force here, or we can call this one effort, then we call this one load, or another force F2, and the distance of this second load to where we have the pivot is B. Using the principle of moment, we have that. Using the principle of moment, we have that clockwise moment equal anti-clockwise moment. I hope you've not forgotten this. Anti-clockwise moment. That is F1 times A equal F2 times B. In other words, I can say the effort E multiplied by A equal the load L multiplied by B, so that E over L will be equals to weight, so that L over E will be equals to A over B. L over E equals A over B. So the lever works based on the principle of what? Based on the principle of moment. And lever allows an effort to be applied at a certain point or at a certain distance to the fulcrum. So we call this knife edge, we call it either pivot or fulcrum. We call it pivot or fulcrum. Now, before I proceed, for any typical machine, the efficiency of such machine is always less than 100%. You have it in your notes, but let me still reiterate it, that the efficiency of any typical machine is always less than 100% or 1. It's always less than 100, because 100% is 100 over 100 means something as 1. So the result of the machine is always less than 100% or 1. Why? Because of the frictional force that occurs at the moving part of any machine. So the reason why the result of the machine is always less than 100% or 1 is because of what? The frictional force acting on the moving part of the machine. So you need to take note of that. So we have types of lever. We have 3 classes of lever. Three classes of lever. 3 classes of lever. And what are the 3 classes of lever? Now, what brings about these 3 classes is just the arrangement. You can see for any typical lever, we have what we call the effort end, the pivot or the fulcrum point, then the load end or the load point. So these are the 3 main things that define what a lever is. The effort is going to apply at one end. You have the load at another end. Then you have the joints or the pivot or the fulcrum point. Now, what differentiates among these 3 classes of lever is the placement or the arrangement of the effort, the pivot, and the load. The arrangement of the effort, the pivot, and the load. So let's look at the first class. The first class of lever. Which is the first one? Let's say the first order. We call it first order or first class lever. Either first order or first class lever. First order or first class lever. Here, what we have is that the pivot is between the what? Is between the effort and the load. You have the pivot in between the effort and what? And the load. Now, before I give example of such machine, in your notes, that you know that I've already sent to you, you will see a particular line where you have space. You see something like this. They call it bracket. Inside it, space for diagram, which means whenever you are preparing your own notes using that note I sent to you people, for that space you need to draw under the letter. You are going to do something of this, which means you must draw this diagram where you see space for diagram. Now, I do understand. Let me repeat it. Anywhere you see space for diagram in your note, that is the note that I sent to you. Now, it means that we are going to draw the diagram for such machine. For instance, you have such thing or this type of space for diagram under lever, which means you are going to draw the diagram of lever where you have the space for diagram. So take note of that. Now, let's go back to the types of lever. First order or first class lever. In this case, we have the pivot in between the load and the effort. So if I must quickly draw that, what we are going to have is this: first order, first class lever. I have the effort, I have the pivot or the fulcrum, either of the two. Then I have the load. This is the first order. Now, what are the examples? Example of such lever is plier. We have plier. We have scissors, the pair of scissors. We also have a claw hammer. you have all these examples in your note, etc. Let me show you an example of this. Let me show you example of this. I want you to see this. What type of machine is this? Or tool? I think you've seen this type of object before. This is what we call the plier. So for any typical plier, we have the handle, we have the joint, then we have another end there for holding anything that you want to use it to hold. Now the effort is going to be applied at this end. You can see we have effort at one end. Then the fulcrum of the pivot is in. Then we have the load. The load is going to be here. For instance, that's why I want to use this plier to hold this object. This is the load. I apply effort here. This is the load, the fulcrum, load, fulcrum. Then I apply effort here. You can see that the fulcrum of the pivot is in between the effort applied and the load. So that's why we categorize the plier under what? Under first class level or first order level. So the same thing applicable to the use of a scissors. The same thing applicable to the use of scissors. And you are also familiar with this tool again. Now you have the effort is going to be applied at this end. You have the joint where they join the two pairs of the hand of the scissors here. That is the pivot of the fulcrum. Then the load is going to be here. Maybe you want to use this thing to cut a piece of cloth. So the cloth is going to be here. That is the load. You have the fulcrum. Then you have the effort end there. So the fulcrum or the pivot is in between the effort and the load. So all this belong to what? To first order level. So let's go to the second one, the second class level, the second order. In this case, the load is in between the load, that is second one, second order level. The load is between the what? The fulcrum F and effort. In this case, what we have is this. I have the fulcrum here, then I have load, then I have the effort. Example of this, e.g. wheelbarrow. I think we all know wheelbarrow. A wheelbarrow has an handle where you are going to input an effort. It has a tray where you are going to use to collect any load. So you have the effort, then followed by the load. So where you have the tire being joined to the body of the wheelbarrow is where you have the fulcrum. So you can see that the fulcrum is at one end. The load will now be in between the fulcrum and then the effort. So lastly, the third order is that the effort is between the fulcrum and the load. The effort is between the fulcrum and the what? And the load. So I told you earlier that what differentiates among these three kinds of level is just the arrangement of the effort, fulcrum, and what? And the load. So a typical example of third order is your forearm. You have forceps, you have thumb. You have a forceps, thumb, forearm, and then the rest. Don't forget you have all this in your notes. Now, for your forearm, look at this. This is my own forearm. The load is here. I applied effort here. Then I have the fulcrum here. The load is here. I applied effort through this. Then the fulcrum is here. You can see that the effort is in between the load and what? And the fulcrum. So that's example of third order level. So let's quickly go to number 2. That is another types of machine. That is number 2. So here we are going to discuss about a machine called pulley or pulley system. We are going to discuss a machine called pulley or pulley system. What's a pulley? This type of machine is mostly used in construction sites where maybe they are building a skyscraper building, all these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 story building. They use this machine to carry loads from the ground to the upper part of that building. At times they call the system of this whole machine, they call it crane. They can also use it in where they are constructing the bridges to carry some heavy loads from the ground to a certain height. Now this machine has a simple fashion, or the simplest version of it has what you call the simplest version of it has only one pulley, or you can say only one groove. Like this, you can have load for this. So don't let me even draw it. Let me give you the diagram is here. You might want to draw it. This is an example of simple pulley system. I think you've seen it. This is an example of simple pulley system. Why? Because it has a single fixed wheel. You have the rope, then you have the load at this side. So I can still redraw it. This is the load. You have the load here. I have the effort. This is the rope. Then we have what you call wheel. Now let me show you what you call block and tackle system of pulley. Another version, or the complex version of pulley system is called block and tackle system of pulley. In this case, we have 2 or more wheels being joined together. Let me show you an example of that. Example of block and tackle system of pulley. Block and tackle system of pulley. Block and tackle system of pulley. This is block and tackle system of pulley. I have this. This is it. You can see that this one consists of 4 different weights. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We still have the effort here. We have the load at this end. But all these 4 wheels are being connected by a single rope. This is the rope. All these 4 wheels are connected by a simple what? A single rope. So if you want to find the velocity ratio of pulley system, the velocity ratio of pulley system depends on the number of wheels that you have. For 4 pulley system, 1, 2, 3, 4, the velocity ratio here is 4. If it is 5 wheels pulley system, the velocity ratio is going to be 5. If it is 6 wheel pulley system, the velocity ratio is going to be what? 6. So you take note of that. So another type of machine, don't forget I said the velocity ratio of pulley system depends on what? The velocity ratio of pulley system depends on the number of wheels or the number of pulleys that we have in that pulley system. And the complex form of any pulley is called block and tackle system, in which you have 2 or more pulleys or wheels being joined together. Example is the one I just showed to you. So let's go to another type of machine. And that one is called inclined plane. So where do we normally use inclined plane? So we can easily use inclined plane. This is number 3. Inclined plane. Inclined plane is just a typical using a certain plank. And you know the meaning of plank? A very long rod which we can easily allow to lean on a certain height, and it can be used to raise load onto a certain height. That if we have a certain, maybe for instance we have a drum of oil, a very big drum of oil which cannot easily be lifted up, but we want to carry this drum into a trailer. So how do you do that? We can easily look for a plank and allow that plank to lean onto the what? The carrier of that truck, and the other end of the plank to touch the ground. Then this large drum of oil can be easily rolled up on that plank. So that system is what we call inclined plane, and we can easily give a typical diagram for that. We have this, we have the load here. So this is the load. Then the effort is going to, let's say this point A, B and C. Don't let me even draw it. I have the diagram with me here. So I have the diagram with me here. I have the diagram with me here. So this is a typical diagram for inclined plane. You have, this is the height at which you want to lift or carry this load. So the effort is going to apply on the load. On this plan, this is the plan laid on a certain height, and this time is raised at or inclined at a certain angle theta to the horizontal. So the velocity ratio of inclined plane equal distance moved by effort over distance moved by the load. So that velocity ratio equal OB, that is line OB. This is OB, the hypotenuse side, over AB. AB is the opposite side to this angle. So using the knowledge of trigonometry or SOHCAHTOA, we have VR OB over AB equal hypotenuse over opposite, and this gives us 1 over sin theta. This means that the velocity ratio of a typical inclined plane equals 1 over sin theta. So we take note of that. So let's go to another type of machine. That is 4. Number 4. We have screw. Let me show you an example of a screw. Okay, I even have and you can see this. This is what we call simple pulley system. I've forgotten that I have it here. This is what we call simple pulley system. You can see it. It has only one wheel. This is the wheel. This is the wheel. It has only one wheel. So that if I want to raise this load, look at it. I can easily pass this rope. This is the rope. I have the mass with me here. I have the mass or the weight with me here. So now you can see you allow the rope to pass through the groove of the wheel. You can see I can easily use this rope through the action of that wheel to raise the load. I can raise it or lower it the way I want. So this is an example of what? Simple pulley system. The more complex form of it is called the block and tackle system. So let me show you an example of a screw. I think most of you, I don't know whether you are familiar with this type of tool before. Screw. Or we also have what we call bolt and nut. Bolt and nut is also an example of screw, and this is another example. So this screw has what we call a kind of thread around it, and in between two threads we have a kind of valley. That valley is called pitch. P-I-T-C-H. So if you have screw, a typical screw, it has thread around it. In between two threads you have a kind of valley, that is a kind of a distance between two threads. So that distance is called pitch. So this gives the velocity ratio of a typical screw as a device or tool is given as 2 pi r over p. where you know that 2 is a constant, 5 is a constant value. So this R is radius of the screen, while P stand for pitch. Make sure that when you are solving for the velocity of the screen, both the radius and the pitch must be in the same unit, maybe centimeter, or meter and meter. But mind the every time you are working, especially in physics, you make sure you always work with SI or in SI unit, that is standard unit. So another machine that I want to show you is wheel and axle. So they use wheel and axle to lift water from a well. So they use wheel and axle to lift water from a well. So this is a typical example of wheel and axle. It comprises of the wheel itself. The wheel has a larger radius represented by capital letter R, and the axle itself, this is the axle, is having a radius represented by small letter R. It's on the axle that the rope is being the rope is being wound round, so that you apply the effort on the wheel in order to lift the load from anywhere you want to lift it, maybe the well. So for any typical wheel and axle, it must have what you call wheel having a larger radius, the axle having smaller radius, so that its velocity ratio, which you call distance one by the effort over distance one by the load, now gives the distance one by the effort will be what? The circumference of what? Because the wheel has a kind of circular part, or is circular in nature. So we talk about the circumference, we use the circumference of the circle for it, and the circumference for that circle, because it's bigger one, so we use 2 pi r. For the axle, its own circumference is 2 pi small r. So you can see that 2 pi becomes 2 pi, and the velocity ratio for wheel and axle go up, big R over small r. And the velocity ratio here has no unit, because whatever the unit of big R might be, must also be for small r. So the 2 units are going to cancel out. Then, so lastly we look at gear wheels. This is another type of machine, gear wheels. So majorly, gear and wheels are mostly used in motors, vehicles, cars, or even motorcycles, or even bicycles. So gear wheels are used in cars, or big lorries, or bicycle or motorcycles. So there are just 2 different parts. One is bigger than the other one, and they have teeth, as you can see. So these 2 teeth are being joined together. In which when one is rotating, if the wheel A is rotating, it will be rotating wheel B, or if B is rotating, it has tendency to rotate wheel A. This is another form of gear wheels. This one is found in bicycle. Don't forget your bicycle has 2 different sprockets. One smaller sprocket and the other one bigger sprocket. That smaller sprocket is at the front, and the bigger one is at the back, being connected by what you call chain. So this line serves as chain. You have the bigger one at the back, and then the smaller one. So when one wheel is rotating, with the help of this chain, it can rotate the other wheel. So the velocity ratio of any gear wheel system is equal number of teeth on driver wheel, that is the one that is the driver, the one that is driving the other one. For instance, if this one is rotating and this one is rotating so that it also rotates then this one becomes the driver and this one becomes the driving wheel. So the velocity ratio equal number of teeth on driver wheel over number of teeth on driving wheel. So these are the major types of machine that we have. But before I round up this class, let's solve 1 or 2 questions as related to machine. So let's look at like 1 or 2 questions. So question one. So I won't write the question because already have the question written in your note. The note that accompanied this video, I think I've already sent the note last week. So just check through the note. You are going to see this page. So I won't write the question for you, but let me just read out exercise or examples. Let's say example, because we stop at example 2. So let's take this one as example 3. Example 3. A machine with velocity ratio. A machine with velocity ratio of 25 moves a load of 450 newtons when an effort 150 newton is applied. What is the efficiency of the machine? The machine with velocity ratio of 25 moves a load of 450 newton when an effort 150 newton is applied. What is the efficiency of the machine? So let's do solve this. From that question, we see that what are the parameters given? I always told you, whenever you are given a question, write out the parameters you are given the question. That one enables you to know the one you are looking for, and then the best formula that you are going to apply. So from the question, we are given the velocity ratio of that machine to be what? To be 25. Then also we are given the load being raised by that machine to be 450 newtons, and again we are given the effort applied on the machine in order to raise the load, which is 450 newton, to be 150 newton is applied. Then the question is asking us to calculate the efficiency. Don't forget, that machine cannot use all the effort applied. This 150 newton cannot use and transform the whole of this effort to raise this load. Some part of this effort will be lost or will be used to overcome the friction, while the remaining part of the effort or the input force will be used to raise the load. That's why we said the machine cannot be 100% efficient, because all the input force cannot be solely converted to raise or to perform the output work. So part of the effort or input force must be used to overcome the friction. So part of that effort will be wasted in the name of the frictional force, and the remaining part will be used to do the useful work. So in this case, you now ask yourself what the formula that connects PR and efficiency and effort. Don't forget, we say that efficiency equal MA over VR multiplied by 100%. So we have all our parameters here. My MA, are you given MA? That's mechanical advantage. So mechanical advantage equal, don't forget, MA equal load over effort. Now in this, I can either substitute into this expression so that I have efficiency equal load over effort, everything over VR multiplied by 100%. In this case, let's input all the values we are given. My load is 450 divided by effort, which is 150, bracket is everything over the velocity ratio, which is what? 25. Now multiply by what? Multiply by 100%. So our final answer for this, if you use your calculator, our final answer for this is going to give you 12%. It's going to give you 12%. The zero cancel zero. Use your calculator to perform this. We are going to have 12%. So that is that on question 1. So let's go and look at question 2. Let's 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 look at question 2. Question 2 states that question 2. So under this, I related it as example 4 now. Example 4. Now, a block and tackle system of pulley consisting of 6 pulleys. A block and tackle system of pulleys consisting of 6 pulleys is used to raise a load of 700 newtons through a height of 25 meters. Is used to raise a load of 700 newtons through a height of 25 meters. If the total work done against friction, in the pulley is 1.2 kilojoules, calculate Roman figure 1. Total work done by the effort, Roman figure 2. Efficiency of the pulley system. And Roman figure 3, effort applied. So let's quickly look at the solution of this question. From that question, don't forget I won't write the question because you have the question in your notes. But you just write out the parameters you are given in the question. What are the parameters? The parameters are given in the question. What are the parameters you are given? Yes, you said that block and tackle system, that's a complex form of a pulley system. Consist of 6 pulleys. 6 pulleys. That means the velocity ratio there. The velocity ratio of that pulley system is what? 6. Is 6. Then we are given load. We are given load to be 700 newtons. Load to be 700 newtons. And the height through which that load is being raised, h is 25 meters. H is 25 meters. Then if the total work done against friction in the pulley system is, we are given work done against friction equal 1.2 kilojoules. Please and please don't use 1.2 direct. You need to convert it to joules. So converting 1.2 kilojoules to ordinary joules, that is 1.2 times 1,000. You are going to 1,200 joules. So we take note of that. So let's solve the first one. The first one says is to calculate total work done by the effort. Total work done by the effort. Total work done by the effort. Look at this question. How do you calculate total work done by the effort? I told you when an effort is applied on the machine, that effort is going to be divided into 2. Part of it is going to be to overcome friction. The remaining part, that second part, is going to be used to do the useful work. That is, according to this question now, part of the effort applied has been done to overcome the friction, which is 1.2 kilojoules. That is work done against friction. It's being from the part of the effort being applied. So the second part is the work done in order to raise that load, which means to now calculate the total work done by the effort. Total work done by total work done, TWD, total work done by the effort, equal, or let me put equal here, work done against friction plus what? I think somebody said plus work done to raise what? To raise the load. Yes. If you are guessing, I think you guess right. Total work done by the effort will be equal to work done against friction plus work done to raise the load. Don't forget, work done against friction has been given to 1,200 joules. Then you need to calculate work done to raise the load. So work done to raise the load. Work done to raise the load equal, don't forget from the net work done is force times distance, but what our force here is the load being raised, that is 700 multiplied by what distance to be the load is being raised, that is the height. What is the height? 25 meters. So I don't need to convert anything because my load is in newton and the height is also what is in meters. So multiply this, we are going to have what I'm going to have 700 times 25. For 700 times 25, what's that? That is 17,500 joules. So total work done by effort will now be 1,200 joules plus 17,500 joules. Our final answer for this will now be 18,700 joules, or if you like, you can say 18.7 kilojoules. 18.7 kilojoules. That's that on question 1 or Roman figure 1. Under the same question, let's look at Roman figure 2. Under the same question, let's look at Roman figure 2. And what is Roman figure 2? What is Roman figure 2? Roman figure 2 says that we should calculate the efficiency of the pulley system. Our efficiency equal MA over VR multiplied by what? 100%. MA over VR, that's 100%. But if you look at this question, even though we are given velocity ratio, but we are not given the mechanical advantage. How? Because we are only given the load, and the question is still asking us to calculate the effort. In that case, there's no way we can calculate our mechanical advantage. And if mechanical advantage is not known, we cannot calculate our efficiency. So in this case, we use another expression entirely, which is work output. Don't forget, from the definition of efficiency, is the rate of work output to what? work input multiply by what? 100%. My efficiency will now be, the work output is the work done by the machine to raise the load and against friction, which is what? Which is this. That's the work input. So the work output is the work done to raise the load. The work input is total work done by the effort. The input force comes from the effort. Take note, input force. Input force comes from the effort. You apply an effort, that's the input. The work done or the force you apply on the machine, that's the input force. So the work done as a result of that, we call it work input. So the work output comes from the load being performed or the work being performed by the machine, and that one will come from the load being raised by the machine. So my work output is the work done by the machine, which is 17,500 divided by work input is the total work done by the effort. And what total work done by the effort? 18,700 multiplied by 100%. Multiplied by 100%. It's very, very important to put 100%. Now you can see that this is in joule, this is in joule. So joule we cancel joules. So we have our efficiency to be equals to 93.5%. 93.5%. You can see the reason why the efficiency is not equal 100%. Because part of the effort being applied as gone in the name of what? Only the name of what? Frictional force. So let's look at the third question under question or example 4. That is effort applied. How do we obtain our effort from here? Effort applied. So my effort will be obtained using efficiency equal ME over VR multiplied by 100%. 100%. I can also rewrite this to be efficiency equal load over effort over velocity ratio. Don't let me confuse you people. Let's first look for MA. By the time you look for ME, then you now use MA equal load over effort. Because load has been given, then we can make our effort the subject of formula. So from here now, let's substitute all this. My MA from here. MA from here will be efficiency multiplied by velocity ratio divided by 100. So in this case I will have in this case I will have MA equal, my efficiency is 93.3 multiplied by velocity ratio is 25, and my 100 divided by 100. So the final answer for that will be 5.90. Okay, 93.5. Sorry for that. Sorry. So efficiency is 93.5. My velocity ratio is 25 over 100. If you input that in your calculator, you are going to have 5.6. We don't forget, many has no unit, so you don't need to put any unit. If you do, you are going to penalize. So in this case, to find the effort, MA equal load over effort. Effort will now be load over MA. So my load is 700 newtons over MA, which is what? 5.6. Effort is going to be 700 over 5.6. This is 125 newton. You can see that on its own, the unit of effort just come. Because our load is already what? In newton. But let me ask no unit. That's how the unit of effort is what? Will be newton. So here we come to the end of our first topic, which is mechanical energy. So be expecting your. I've already sent one of the assignments to you. The velocity ratio is 25. Sorry, the velocity ratio. Oh, I'm sorry. Velocity ratio according to the question is 6. Because the pulley system has 6 pulleys. That block and tackle system has 6 pulleys. Please, the velocity ratio is 6. The 25 I've also wrote is that of the height, please. And not to concern the height here when we are talking about the mechanical advantage. So the velocity ratio is 6 times the efficiency is 93.5 over 100. So we have that. Now, your first part of the assignment under this topic has been sent to you people. So by tomorrow, I'll be expecting your solution. So the second part of the assignment under the same topic, be expecting it latest on Wednesday. So here we come to the end of today's class. The next time I come your way, I remain your Malam Salakon Edwin Abiodun. Bye.